Shalom, shalom. October 26, 2020. Peace and blessings to you. Today's wise words or red words is coming from Luke chapter 18, verse 9 and 9 through 14. And I'm going to read it for you. And he spake, Yeshua spake, this parable unto certain which trusted in themselves, trusted in their righteousness, right? Trust in their righteousness, alright? Self-righteous. Trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others. They trusted in their righteousness and they despised others. We're going to read some more. 2 men went up into the temple to pray. The one a Pharisee, the other a publican or Republican. Okay? Or one a Democrat and one a Republican. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself, God, I thank thee that I am not as other men, as extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican or politician. I fast twice in the week, I give my tithes, all that I possess. And the publican stood afar off, would not lift up as much as his head or his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified, rather than the other. For everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. In this parable, we find 2 people who sought God because they went to the temple. They know of God, so they have a measuring stick of what is required for righteousness. Okay? But one measured himself, right? One measured himself by himself against others. Right? And he also trusted in himself for measurement. Meaning he was deceiving himself, thinking that the sins that he did not commit were good enough for him to be righteous. Not measuring himself by the great God, Yah Allah. Which should have been his measuring stick. That if he were measured himself according to the measurement that God would judge you, then you would find fault within your breast, within your chest, within your heart. Okay? So we find that in Luke 18, 9 through 14, that everyone who exalts themselves shall be humbled or abased. And everyone who obeys themselves shall be brought up. Alright? So we shall always stay in the mindset of Christ, the state of mind, the mind of divine. Divine mind is always to be humble. Not measuring yourself against others and your own criteria of righteousness, but your criteria of how the Most High is judging you. The whole of the law of man is love thy neighbor as thyself. Love Yah with all your heart, mind, body, and soul, and love your neighbor as thyself. This is the whole duty of man and the whole law of man. Shalom, shalom.